On the 2nd of November, it's a Sunday, the one we're about to meet, United play City in a clash of teams from Manchester. One red, one blue. We don't really like the one in blue, do we? Let's talk about Marouane Fellaini and his massive transformation between that guy we all hated to that guy we now sort of like and tolerate. Adam, start us off.
What a player. I still don't believe he's the kind of player that Manchester United need, but in a midfield that we've got players such as Blind and Herrera who are easily muscled out of games, and in a formation now where the players know their roles, they know what their manager wants them to do. We used to see David Moyes utilise him for Everton against Manchester United in that number 10, lob balls at him, and he used to cause us all sorts of problems. And when he's got a job to do, and it suits his style of play, he does well, and that's what we've been seeing from him. But I don't think he's a player that I would hope to see in 12, 18 months' time still starting week in, week out for us.
Howson, throw your hat in the ring.
I've just realised there, we've got Squawker Dave. We've got a guy that likes spreadsheets and stats more than I do.
They do exist.
Marouane Fellaini. Last season, we didn't see the best Man United and we did not see the best Marouane Fellaini. The player that he was at Everton was not the player that he was at United last year. And that could have been a number of reasons. The transfer fee, the fact that maybe Moyes was turning to him quite a lot in the dressing room, maybe. But whatever's happened this season, someone's put an arm around him, told him what he can be, and he does look a completely different player. Now, he's never going to win a Ballon d'Or. He's never going to be in a dream 11 for anybody, but he's a player that can come in and he can do a job. And I'm, for one, glad that he's at Manchester United, and I want to see him play on Sunday.
OK, Squawker Dave, you're the man with the stats. What's happened with Fellaini? Is it something he's doing differently, or is it just confidence?
I think it's a bit of both. There's a manager there that now believes in him, and you see the game against West Brom when Van Gaal turns to him, and obviously he's giving him a little bit of instruction. Fellaini comes on, bags a goal, pretty much saves the day for United. We looked a bit flat in the first half. And I think the thing against Chelsea was absolutely brilliant tactically. He was stuck on Cesc Fabregas, and he did an absolute job on Cesc Fabregas. Fabregas failed to create a single chance from open play against United. Obviously, he did create the goal, fair play to the lad, decent ball in. But I think tactically, we could use Fellaini in a number of different ways. One of them, just drop him on someone like Fabregas, disrupt it. I'd love to see against Man City, obviously, dropping Fellaini right on top of Yaya Toure, and watch that sort of explode, and hopefully we'll get Fellaini coming out on top. So it's positive for United, I think. Lots of options.
So interesting that as Fellaini's star has risen, Matters has definitely dropped. Adam, what do you think's going on with Juan?
I think is it coincidental that Herrera's not been in a team and his form's dipped? I don't think so, because Herrera, Di Maria and Juan Mata had some great link-up play going on between them. And also, Herrera's role in the team alongside Blind was to battle against the other midfielders and release the ball to our attacking players. He hasn't had that protection. Whereas Rooney can play in that number 10. He knows how to tackle. He knows how to look after himself on the pitch. You think Juan Mata needs a bit more protection, and he hasn't had that from the midfield, I don't think. It's not an excuse for his poor performances, because we still want to see more from him. But yeah, just haven't seen enough from him. And we saw against West Brom, he wasn't playing number 10. He was dropped a lot deeper. So his position has changed in the team at times as well. So I think there's a few variables to it, but you do want a bit more from him, because he's a quality player.
Dave, where are things going with Mata? Do you think it's a coincidence that he seems to have lost form around the time that Van Gaal came out and said that Rooney will be his number 10 every time he's available?
It's a really interesting one, because I thought he did well defensively against Matic, maybe closing him down, obviously not battling physically, but just shutting him down, slowing things down. But I think the thing with Mata is he didn't contribute attacking. He didn't complete that many passes, didn't create a lot of chances. He's not a vintage player anymore. You'd say potentially he's already hit his peak. Against the bigger teams for Man United, he just hasn't really shown up. His goals are coming against the likes of QPR, Sunderland from this season, and then Southampton, Norwich, Newcastle, Villa last season. So he's not really doing it in the big games. But we just got to stop there and we look at his form for Chelsea. He scored 6 out of his 18 goals for Chelsea against the top 4 sides. Regularly scored against Man United and regularly scored against Arsenal. So it's one of those things where maybe we just got to believe in Juan Mata again. I just love Juan Mata to really hit some form. I want to love Juan Mata, but at the moment his form isn't just really good enough. And you can see Rooney coming in back from his suspension and fitting into the team a lot better, to be honest.
Stephen, where do you stand on Juan Mata? Is it a case of form and confidence, or do you think he's over the hill?
Over the hill's a big shout, isn't it? Over the hill's a bit of a shout. He's not over the hill, no.
It's up to you what you say.
I like Juan Mata. I like players that want to keep the ball on the floor and are technical and look to attack. And I like that in Juan Mata. I think people maybe overestimate his size and strength or lack of. It's clear that he's not going to go head-to-head with Rooney and win, which is a shame. He's got the same sort of problem that he had at Chelsea, really. He's a lovely player. He seems like a lovely bloke. Maybe he's just not got that killer instinct to be one of the best players in the world.
Well, he was Chelsea's Player of the Year twice in a row. He is an exceptional footballer. It's not like he's ever... And as David was saying, he's used to scoring big games. It's not like he's suddenly... It's not like he's always been like this.
No, and then you see Mourinho comes in and drops him and sells him to a rival. He wouldn't be doing that with a player that was indispensable, obviously.
Okay, all right, let's talk about it. Would you play him in your team?
Well, I'm not playing him in my team.
Tell us your team, Stephen. Go on.
My team, De Gea in net. Same back four as last week, I think. Rafa, Smalling, Rojo and Shaw. Blind just in front. I'm bringing back the big wig. Fellaini's playing. Di Maria, player of the season, arguably player of the Premier League at the moment. And then up front, the trio of Rooney in the number 10 position to cut about and really put himself around there. I think he's leading scorer in derbies as well. Dave will probably tell you. With RVP and Falcao up front, I wouldn't by choice play RVP, but we're going for what we think Van Gaal's going to pick. And I think he's his best friend, little favourite. He's not dropping him, is he?
Okay, what do you think, Dave?
So I'm going to go with consistency. I think the problem with Man United this season, we've been chopping and changing. In our first 8 games, we used 30 different players, and that's a Premier League record for using the most players in the first 8 games. So what we need is consistency. I'd keep it exactly the same, but I'd just drop Rooney in instead of Juan Mata. Same back four. You know, Smalling looked all right against Chelsea. Just get the confidence going with that back four. You know, similar players in front of them. Get Fellaini definitely has got to be in there. I really like Januzaj and Shaw. I thought their combination at times against Chelsea was absolutely brilliant. Keep that relationship going. Let Di Maria on the right-hand side. Let him rip it up like we were saying before. 18 chances created. You know, most of any Man United player. 4 assists, 3 goals. He's been absolutely fantastic. But against Chelsea, to be fair, they marshalled him very well. They brought their central midfielder over to work with the fullback and the winger. So we need, hopefully, David Silva to play on the left wing to give Di Maria a bit more space.
Okay, Mac, what do you think of their teams?
I like them. I kind of agree with Dave in the sense that keep it the same, bring Rooney in for Mata. But I do want to see Radamel Falcao play. I think...
Do you think Rooney's fit, Adam? Reports he's been limping about.
Well, I only know from the reports. I think he will be fit. He will play the game. You know, he's been out for a long time. If it's a little knock, Wayne Rooney will make sure he's fit and he'll come through and he'll play. He's one of those players that will make sure he is fit for the game. I want to see Falcao back in the team. Whenever we've played without Falcao and then he's come on as a sub, we've looked better when he comes onto the pitch. And I don't know if that's because when he's not been on the pitch, we've been playing with one striker and then him coming on means we've got 2 up front. But his movement, everything about him just looks livelier. I'm not going to get on Robin Van Persie's back because I do think some of the criticism we've been getting is over the top. But parts of his play aren't as impressive as Falcao's have been. Yes, he's scoring goals. He scored a crucial goal against Chelsea. And he's still a player that can do it for us. And he's still a world-class striker on his day. But Falcao's better than him, especially on his own up top. And for me, everything about his play is better as well.
Okay,
I got a question. I got a question for you. Let me throw this at you. Let's assume that Rooney isn't fit. What do you do? Do you bring Herrera in and push Fellaini in the number 10 role? Or do you bring Mata in?
I mean, he's just totally... I mean, this is my job. It's outrageous that you come in and ask these questions. It's a good
You bring
question.
Falcao in?
I ask the questions that people want to hear, Sam.
Okay. Put Mata in, surely. Right, let's move on to City.
Moving on.
Dave, who are the players we need to stop?
Well, I think City are a bit of a wounded beast at the moment. You know, losing the last game and then drawing with CSK Moscow. Very poor performance there. They're a wounded beast. And what you want to do with a wounded beast? Do you want to let it get back up or do you want to kick it when it's down? We need to kick it when it's down. You know, we need to, the likes of Yaya Toure that's not hit the form of last season, still completed the most passes in the Premier League, which has been pretty outstanding. But you're looking at his goal stats, you're looking at his assist stats. He's only scored 1 goal this season, failed to register assist. Only created 5 chances in 9 games. It's absolutely rubbish. You look at last season, you compare it to that, he scored 4 times, created 10 chances and got an assist. So the level of performance there for Yaya Toure isn't good enough, you'd say. And potentially the cake incident, obviously getting in his head. He could be someone that United maybe they need to keep kicking him. Get Fellaini on Yaya Toure for the whole game, bully him. Absolutely bully him.
Stephen, who's on your spreadsheet?
Do him, fella, do him!
I didn't hear them.
Who's on your spreadsheet? Who are you worrying about?
It's got to be Aguero, hasn't it? The guy's on fire. He's their best player by a long way this season, and probably arguably for the last couple of seasons. He always seems to score against us. Last season he was mega. Let's not have a repeat of that. Let's keep him quiet. We've got a couple of big lads now that we can get around him, cut off the supply to him, and hopefully supply our lads at the other end and come away with a win for a change in a derby.
Okay, Adam McCullough, City. Who do you hate? Who are you worried about?
Obviously, I agree with the boys in terms of Yaya Toure. I know he hasn't been on form, but this is one of those games where he could just stick it in the back of the net from 40 yards out, and he's back, one of them ones. So I'd like Fellaini to do a job on him. Obviously, Aguero is fantastic. And with me, Manchester United's defence, we had Drogba. We played quite well defensively. Yes, they scored from a set piece. It was frustrating. But whenever teams play in front of us, like you would with, say, Drogba, he's not going to run in behind you at pace anymore. We play better. The thing that worries me is when players like Aguero, who can get in behind you and find that space and get through, they're the kind of strikers that make us worry and do our defence a hell. So getting hold of Aguero will be important, but I think if we can stop David Silva, we can stop Aguero because he makes things tick for them, and he's an absolutely fantastic player. I love David Silva.
Okay, get over it. Get over it, Adam. Right, what do you think the score will be?
Talk to me.
Yep.
I got a feeling we can do something.
Tell me what you think the score will be, Adam. It's a simple question.
I don't want to jinx it, so I'm going to say...
just keep talking about it. Stephen, what do you think the score will be? Go on, show me how it's done. Make a prediction.
2-1.
That's a prediction. Nice one, Stephen. Dave, prediction.
2-1 United.
2-1 United. Yeah, Stephen, who do you think would win?
Manchester United.
Nice. Adam, prediction.
Well, Sam. Nah, United are going to win 1-0, Falcao.
1-0, okay. I was going to say 2-1. I'll say 3-2 to make it interesting. Guys, let us know what you think. Write your score predictions below. Let us know what you think about Fellaini and Mata and all that stuff we've been talking about. Subscribe to Full Time Devils, like the video, share it with your mates, and enjoy the rest of your experience in this world.
You do realise we're now going to get 6-1 after we've all said we're going to win.
It's all right, we'll come back stronger.